And now, once again, Richard Thomas.
The Olympic torch is a symbol that has survived throughout history to represent the athletic power and physical achievements of mankind. Tonight, the flame is burning not for all of mankind, but for one young woman whose courage and determination won her a place in Olympic history. Her story serves as a remarkable symbol for anyone who's had a dream that miracles can happen. When Kelly Lewis was 7 years old, her parents, John and Nancy, took her to see the Olympic torch as it made its way to the 1984 Games in Los Angeles. On that day, a dream was born.
We got there early so that we could be right in front. They were bringing the advanced torch runner, and Kelly was crying, I don't know why.
The runner noticed the little girl on the curb crying and handed her the torch to hold. It was a moment seared into Kelly's memory.
Well, I remember when she handed me the torch. It was pretty exciting being the only person in the big group who got it.
Holding the torch in her small hands, Kelly made a big decision.
That's when she said, that's what I want to do. I want to run in the Olympics.
Coming into the final quarter lap, Johnson's making a move.
The love for the Olympics was with me from there on out.
Of the U.S. taking the gold medal.
Yes! I never missed one. I watched every single opening ceremony, and just this kind of lump in my throat. And then afterward, I would grab something that I'd say was a flag, and I'd run around with my victory lap.
Kelly kept running, and by the time she was a freshman in high school, she was way out in front and winning.
Freshman year was great. She was winning races, had a great cross-country season, and went to track and was still winning races, and then started having trouble with her knees and had to have surgery between her freshman and sophomore year.
She never really got her times back in running, and we just assumed it was because of her knees.
But there was a much more serious problem, which they wouldn't discover until the second race of her sophomore year.
I had beaten these girls the previous season, and I was right with them. My heart had been palpitating, but I didn't know what that was. I just thought it felt a little weird. And I was trying so hard to keep up with them, and I was running as fast as I could, but I just couldn't make it.
I could tell by her face that something was terribly wrong.
Oh, Kelly! Oh my, Kelly!
She came across the finish line, and I ran down to where she was. She just kept saying, there's something wrong with my heart. It hurts.
Come on.
Nancy rushed her daughter to the emergency room, where a cardiologist performed a battery of tests. The results could hardly have been worse.
How is she?
Well, I've had a chance to review her tests, and
I wanted to believe there was nothing wrong.
she has 4 problems.
And the doctor started listing all these things that were wrong, and any one of them could have been fatal.
He said she had no wall between the upper chambers of her heart. She had a double cleft malformation of the mitral valve. She had the mononucleosis virus in her heart, and it was swollen 3 times its normal size. So 4 major problems, any one of which could kill anyone just walking, and she was running 6 miles a day with all 4 of those.
Kelly's life was hanging by a thread. She underwent immediate open heart surgery. It was an amazing success. Just 4 days later, Kelly was back home under strict orders to remain in bed. But Kelly was determined to run. She ignored her doctor's advice, pinned her drainage bags to her sweats, and went back to training.
I didn't want her to keep running, but when she sets a goal, she's determined, and it doesn't matter what you tell her. She's going to stick to that goal. She had the surgery in June and ran her first race in September. She finished well behind the rest of the runners, but I was just thrilled that she didn't die.
After the heart surgery, I knew that I wasn't going to win, and I wasn't going to be the fastest, but the one thing I could do was finish. And so I knew from there on out that was my goal, was to finish every single race.
But Kelly had lingering problems that would have made any other person give up.
After the surgery, I came to find out that I developed pretty severe asthma.
What we didn't realize was all the years of the mitral valve was sending blood back up into her lungs and just made them mush. So the heart was fixed, and now the lungs were the problem.
We thought, if she keeps running, it's just dangerous now. But she kept at it. She kept running.
Not only did Kelly keep running, but in spite of her enormous setbacks, she began to recover her speed and her dreams until another tragedy struck.
What's this guy doing?
Kelly would need a miracle to even survive what happened next. When It's a Miracle continues. From the moment 7-year-old Kelly Lewis touched the Olympic torch, she dreamed of becoming a runner. But a bad heart and weak lungs were making her dream nearly impossible. And then another tragedy struck. Kelly's team was returning from track practice. Kelly gave up her seat to another teammate and sat on the floor of the van.
My coach had his 5-year-old daughter there, and I was playing patty cake with her at the exact time it had happened.
What's this guy doing? What's this guy doing?
In the next instant, they hit an oncoming vehicle, sending the van rolling. Kelly wasn't wearing a seatbelt. When John and Nancy received news of the accident, they rushed to the hospital to be with their daughter.
Do you see her?
No.
All we knew was that they were going 50 miles an hour, they were hit head-on, and the van had flipped like 5 or 6 times. So we thought the worst. You just don't survive an accident like that.
Oh, John, where is she? Kelly?
My husband said it looked like Vietnam. There were all these beds and blood and, just one doctor running from bed to bed to bed. And we couldn't find Kelly.
Where is she, John?
And then we saw them wheel her in. And we saw a toe tag that said deceased.
Oh, God.
And I thought she was dead. I thought they hadn't told us ahead of time so that we wouldn't crash getting to the hospital.
Oh, Kelly.
And we found out that the tag was wrong. She wasn't dead.
Can't tell begin to tell you what that did to us, to see that. And then we heard her groan and saw her move.
Amazingly, Kelly came through her near-death experience with only broken bones and bruises. But Kelly's survival was not the only good news that day.
The entire team went home that night. No one was killed or hospitalized from it. And for the kind of accident that it was, that's really a miracle.
When she was well enough, Kelly returned to running. But it was becoming impossible for her to continue competing. Her dream seemed out of reach.
We're starting a letter right now.
And then the Lewises learned that the Olympic Torch Committee was accepting applications to relay the torch on its way for the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. The deadline was the next day, so John hurriedly wrote a letter.
It was getting to almost a week before the torch run, and still no word. We were just thinking, this is just another blow to her, just one more thing that she just got, knocked down for.
Oh, what's this?
And then we came home one day, and there it was in the mail.
John, look!
Unbelievably, Kelly's dream had come true. She would run in the Olympics after all. Kelly's father brought his video camera that day to record his daughter's triumphant run from the Hollywood Bowl, 1 mile toward Atlanta.
When the Torch Committee bus arrived and Kelly stepped off the bus, and they hand her to the torch. And to hear the band playing and hear the crowd screaming, that's when I realized this is a big deal.
Remembering how much it meant to her when she was a child, Kelly took a moment to let another young girl hold the torch. Maybe she sparked another dream as she started her Olympic run that day.
It was exciting because you would hear all the cars honking and people, shouting and waving. It was very exciting, and it was a goal and a dream, and she achieved it.
Even if I had never touched the torch, it was such a great experience to see the people out there just lining the streets and everyone cheering and everyone happy. No matter who you were, or what you did, everyone had come together, and basically time stopped for those few moments that the torch ran by.
All along the whole route, people cheering, "Go Kelly," and holding signs, and you get down to that last moment where she passes the torch off and it ignites the other torch. Just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just can't describe the feeling.
It was a moment that the Lewis family had never expected to see.
There was just so many things that she just shouldn't have lived through. She shouldn't have been running. She shouldn't have been winning races. So all of this is a miracle to me.
We need to be thankful for everything we have. We all had to survive with Kelly. We're all alive, we're all happy. We have a great family. And I think that the way we've turned out is the biggest miracle.
Life is too short, life is too precious. We never know what will happen to us or what trials we will face. I know that no matter what, that I will be able to try, and if I'm not exactly first, then that's okay. I'm making a difference. I'm achieving something that I never thought I would get the chance to do.